right there. And every now and then you get a drop key door, so you put in the drop key, try and turn it, and it just refuses to move. And then when you try and turn it a bit harder, the drop key moves around and gets stuck, and the drop key is completely jammed in the door. You can't get it out again. It's just completely stuck. So me and Aaron actually returned to his car park where I previously got my drop key stuck about 6 months ago. Aaron puts in his drop key and also gets it stuck. So how do you get your drop key out when it's got stuck in some dodgy lift doors? Well, what you actually have to do is get to the drop key mechanism on the outer door, meaning you have to get in and out of the doors disattached, meaning you can call the lift up to floor, doors open, jams on the drop key sticking out the door. So then you have to get the in and outer doors disattached so you can get to a mechanism of it. And as these doors were really close together, you couldn't actually get your hand in between to get to a bit to disattach the doors, meaning that the only way was actually to get in the motor room and free fall the lift until the lift reaches a point where the doors are disattached. But this is the top floor, meaning that free falling a lift is actually overrunning a lift. But luckily, we did actually manage to get it back into service again, because luckily this particular logic has overridden it, which is really good. So then once we managed to get the doors detached and got to the mechanism on the outer doors, you can actually see what's gone wrong with it. And it's that the bit that the drop key latches onto is rather stiff, and the drop key sort of bounces behind it and completely gets jammed, sort of stuck behind this mechanism. It's really dodgy, and you don't come across these dodgy drop key mechanisms that often, but when you do, it's a real pain.
The bar itself is too loose. See? Right, this is what goes in here. This is kind of like a bolt, and it stops this from popping out. But the issue is that it's too loose, and there's no washer behind it. So even if we was to get this in, it would still wriggle about, you see? And then this bit under here, this fails to latch on properly. Put the key in it and it won't work, because it would just pass it and then it would get stuck underneath the latch, or above it rather. But as you can see, that is how it works, and it's meant to push up the rollers. And this was when doors weren't close enough to the key release hole.
And now we're going to the motor room. We managed to get a lift working again, and let's now take a look around this motor room. And this lift actually has Zeta lift logic. So you've got a Zetadine variable frequency drive, Zeta lift voice in the lift, and the motors have been replaced with Zoeterbeg Zeta lift motors. And the logic is this digital advanced logic. And this logic is a bit weird. In some ways it's quite good. It actually knows the lift's exact position, so it's actually using things like its V in the shaft, a bit like a modern version of selector tape, so it knows its exact position. But despite this, it doesn't do intelligent levelling, which is very disappointing. It knows its exact position, so it should just be able to slow the lift down perfectly to the floor, but no, it still does bog standard old-fashioned 2-speed levelling, which is very disappointing.